as important as it is how do you use the power in these cars is how you regenerate back and put energy back into the battery. And that's something that, as I said, you know, it's just very new for all of us, and it just takes learning. Like even when we were testing in the winter at Donington, I remember we'd finish the test and we would all, you know, meet, analyze things and say, okay, now we're understanding what this car is about, how to take the best out of it. Then we would do the next test and we would go, well, no, now we're understanding really what's happening. And that's been the process all along, like every test, every race, now we're understanding. So it's just a constant learning curve that again, I think every team is going through that. Not only every team, McLaren, Williams, you know, the suppliers are also learning with that. So I think the team with the fastest feet, or, you know, the quicker learner is the one that's going to end up winning the championship.
Three of the drivers in the race in Beijing used too much battery power. How did you ensure that you didn't?
Well, you know, it was tough. In Beijing, not all the systems were working good for all teams. Like, we're supposed to get telemetry back to the box where the engineers can see how much energy we're using. And we were having issues with that. I think most of the teams did also. So that didn't help. Then in the car, we can see how much energy we use. But, you know, you're trying to fight the other drivers and driving as fast as you can. So it's quite interesting because you need to, in the corners, you know, you feel you're totally on the edge, almost crashing, going as fast as you can. And then in the straights, you almost feel like you're an airline pilot. You look at all the numbers and you're changing your settings. Oh, then the corner comes again and you want to pass the guy in front. So it's kind of a different brain exercise than any other type of racing I've done before. So I think we're all just adapting to it, learning. And it's what I find, honestly, most fascinating of this championship, that there's all these new things that you just have to learn on the go. And again, I think we have a lot of good people, a lot of good brain power in the team that's going to help us drivers out there. Because no matter how smart or not you think you are, when you put the visor down, I always say your brain capacity gets, you know, at least down to half of it. So it really helps having a good team behind you and telling you, you know, not only what you do, what we think other drivers are doing, and you know, what's the best thing to do in the next lap. So.
Now, looking ahead to the race, Putrajaya on Saturday, what do you think of the track so far?
I walked the track already and it looks great. Honestly, they've done a great job. Beijing, I thought, was a great facility. They were just a little bit too repetitive, the corners. You know, they were like 4 or 5 chicanes. Here, there's only one chicane. I love chicanes, don't get me wrong, but there's, you know, you need more corners than just chicanes. And here, there's a lot of elevation changes, which for a street race, it's not usual. Makes it more challenging. Some areas of the track are narrow. You have a couple of fast corners, difficult fast corners, and you have a couple of really tight hairpins. So we're going to be busy at the wheel, a lot more than Beijing. And I think it's going to be easier to make a mistake, and at the same time, you're going to pay a lot more for that mistake. Because in Beijing, if you were making a little mistake and you were getting a little too hot in a chicane, you could just go straight. Here, if you go a little too hot, you're going to find a wall. So you're going to have to be thinking about that and making sure you don't make any mistakes.